Now that the library was partially stabilized, it meant it no longer shook like a wet dog when it needed Quinn to do something. Not that her vertigo went away entirely, just that it wasn't induced by the library throwing her around and sucking her into its own little pocket dimension. Over the last weeks, Quinn had met more species than she'd read about in genre fiction, learned that talking furniture was an actual one of those species, and discovered that magic was real. Not only that, but she'd gained 2 elven teachers in Malaro and Malachi, or friends, or something. But she also had an owl companion, Arity, who was all the purple, green, and blue shades of midnight. Not to mention a talking, morphing into anything he wanted to library manifestation, although Lynx was currently having a bit of a memory crisis. All in all, as far as a magical library went, this one was holding up pretty well. Well, except for the whole sending her to a world where time worked differently, which made her deadline tick down even faster. And then there was the retrieving very important books from the chaos-infested world of Debillion, where everything had been turned to igneous rock. But apart from those things, everything was pretty great. Quinn stretched, feeling nicely rested after the last few days. She pulled on a pair of comfortable pants, like those leggings with pockets that looked like slacks she'd always admired. Business casual on the outside, soft and stretchy on their deceptive little comfort side. She chose a soft white button-down blouse with a loose bow that was sort of like a tie around her neck next. She could have sworn she'd seen librarian uniform outfits like this. To be fair, she was trying to appear a little more professional, but thought she'd probably revert to yoga pants and sweatshirts soon enough. Either way, she was all about ease of movement and comfort. Next, she grabbed a little badge and popped it on the left side of her chest. It simply read, Quinn. It was much easier than introducing herself as a librarian. She liked just being a big part of the whole. Finally, she pulled her black-brown hair up into a high, messy bun where 2 curls immediately came loose and attempted to annoy her face. She sighed. It seemed not even magic could fix her hair. It had been a lovely few days since they returned from the Debillion homeworld. She could almost forget that she'd been practically bitten in half by a mimic, an actual monster chest trying to eat her. She shook her head at the memory. Arity hooted and landed on her shoulder. Luckily, all of her clothing now had a leather pad in the precise spot the owl liked to sit. At least she'd avoid her shoulder getting shredded. Arity hooted again and cast some images at Quinn. Yeah, I get it. I'm taking a while this morning. Today's the big day. Nothing was going to dampen her mood this morning, not even a sometimes judgy night owl, who it seemed didn't always like to use mind speech. Images were so much harder to interpret. Arity craned her neck around and looked at Quinn, her black iridescent feathers sparkling in the bright morning light that shone through the windows. Windows that Quinn couldn't see out of because of how high up they were. She still had no clue where in the universe they actually were. What? It is a big day, she said, raising an eyebrow at the bird. The books should be ready. We should be able to use them today. The owl nodded, and Quinn smoothed down the uniform she'd chosen for the day, ready to face everyone downstairs, even if she was running a bit late for the unwrapping of the 3 books they'd saved from the Debillion homeworld. She made her way down the stairs into the wonderful library she'd been sucked into. The library over the last few days had become a lot livelier. It seemed word was spreading that it being open was not a hoax, and that the library was, in fact, actually open. She descended the stairs very quickly, now quite certain of her footing as she ran down the spiral staircase, only to be greeted by Dottie at the bottom. "You're late, Quinn," the little bench said, her tone obviously disapproving. "We really have to make sure the books are fixed." A pang of guilt hit the librarian. "I know. I apologize." "Did you sleep in deliberately? Did you oversleep? Did you overdo it last night? Have you been eating?" The bench's words practically tumbled over one another. "I have not eaten yet. I didn't stay up too late, but I do think I worked a little bit too hard yesterday." Quinn attempted to answer all of the questions. "That's all? You overslept?" Those words gave a distinct hint of disapproval, and Dottie's disapproval had a way of worming in under your skin. Quinn decided she should try a new tactic, but didn't get very far. "You're not in the best mood today, Dottie." "Of course I'm not." The bench gestured around with one of her front legs. "Look at the library. It's very busy."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.